What's up, guys? It's time. It's time for the holidays. The BUDK catalog. How clever. The Christmas tree is an A. So we have a holiday catalog. Now, I have to say, ever since I was a little tyke, I really look forward to two things. When I was really little, I looked forward to the JCPenney Christmas catalog, which was like a phone book. Because back then I'd get to look at all the cool toys and stuff that were coming out. And then, of course, in my early teenage years, that swapped over, lost interest in toys, and started gaining an interest in knives and Zippos and different types of cool stuff like that. And back in the day, it was always Smoky Mountain. Now, I've gotten BUDK ever since the beginning, but Smoky Mountain, it always had just a little bit more variety. A little bit extra stuff, this is like the basics, the basic like mall ninja stuff, which was still pretty cool. And even as an adult now, even after I've had thousands and thousands of knives pass these hands, I still think some of this mall ninja stuff is cool, because why not? No shame in that. but yeah, so the Smoky Mountain Smoky Mountain Knife Works Christmas catalog is where it's at, and I've done videos looking through those before, but today I have this one. I did not yet get the Smoky Mountain. I may or may not do a video when that arrives. But this is the BUDK Christmas catalog. Now, the only gripe I have with BUDK is that, they don't get as many new products as often. So what ends up happening is they take all their product, like let's say I look at this catalog. I know it front to back. What they'll do next month or whatever is they'll take the same stuff, like 98% of the stuff, jumble it around in different pages with different pictures, and then bam, new magazine, new stuff. No, it's the same stuff, BUDK. We're not that dumb, okay? It's great marketing. It really is. Because you might be flipping through and, let's say this pellet gun here, which by the way I own, which is awesome. I don't have this exact one. We'll talk about it in a second. This is my first time actually looking at this catalog, although when I got it, I literally flipped it open and saw that, so I remember it's in there. So everything else should be new. I didn't see it yet. But as mentioned before, I've seen it in previous ones on different pages. But anyway, getting back to my original point, is you go through this catalog, you don't really see this at first. But let's say next month, you're going through the catalog again, and that exact thing is on this page. You know what I'm saying? So what ends up happening is you miss a lot of stuff just kind of glancing through this, but then you kind of discover it and you think it's new. It's not new, but it's new to you. So anyway, so yeah, we're just going to kind of flip through. I'm just going to talk. That's it. Just really talking, thinking openly here. This is something I would normally do on the toilet. I'm not on the toilet right now, just for reference. Although that'd be hilarious if all these years I'm in the bathroom filming these videos. Wouldn't that be funny? But I'm not. In fact, years ago, I literally showed, like I took the camera off the tripod and backed up and showed the table and the seat and like where I am. I'm just sitting in my dining room. That's all, just chilling, making videos, talking to you guys. Anyway, here we go. So, BUDK 2022 Christmas. Now, right on the cover here, nothing super exciting. OTFs are always exciting. This Executioner it doesn't stand out as something I have to have. The Punisher thing is cool. However, the Punisher thing has definitely been ransacked and stolen by police. This is what it is. It's a Punisher. So, like for me, I just relate that to police now, and probably always will. I like the comic book character, the Punisher. I like the movie, the Punisher. I kind of like the skull. It's kind of badass. It's pretty cool looking. But to me, it's just cops. That's all. So, yeah, I mean, if you're a cop or if you like to support cops, or if you don't believe in anything I just said, and you still like the comic book Punisher, your comic book character Punisher, there you go. Punisher. All right, so besides that, the oversized revolver pellet gun, I mean, I like all pellet guns, kind of whatever. The Stein here, not so much interest, and the Samurai Sword, not so much interest. Not because I don't like samurai swords or Steins, but these two particular ones don't stand out as being extra awesome, and I need it. Okay, that was quite the start there. So, all right, let's see. On this page... Now, we've seen this before because, again, repetition. This is the worst thing in the world for self-defense. Okay, this says a ready-to-use home defense weapon. This is basically a sawed-off shotgun that shoots rubber pellets. No, 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 and no. I could not stress anymore. No. don't buy this thing, and there's one reason why. If you ever actually take this out to use it, you will probably die. Just saying. The worst thing you could possibly do, it's better to be unarmed, okay, than have this thing. Unless you're a crack shot and you can shoot a rubber ball into someone's eyeball and distract them enough to go, you know, beat them up or something. If someone is in your home, they're probably desperate, okay? They're probably a drug addict or some kind of a thief, and more times than not, those thieves are only thieving because they need to feed some kind of addiction, okay? It's a very small chance you're gonna get some kind of professional thief that's breaking in your house unless you have a really awesome house and a really big safe and something worth stealing. So more times than not, you're dealing with desperate human beings, and most times they're not even there to hurt you, they just wanna take your crap, but obviously you don't want that. So you say, no, you can't take my crap, and you know, either shoot and kill them, stab them and kill them, beat them up and kill them with a baseball bat, whatever you decide, whatever your, you know, flavor of the month is for weapon choice. Or maybe you're a little more passive than that. Maybe you're not looking to kill them. Maybe you just try to call the police and hide in the closet or something. Who knows? You know, you do you. For me, I have a no SHIT policy. Trying not to curse here. This is just not a good idea because no different than if you have like pepper spray guns that look like guns. I've had one of those before and I stopped carrying it because after a while I realized that if I pull out something that looks like a gun, even if I really am defending myself, all I've done now is gave the other person a good reason to pull their real gun out and shoot me. You know what I mean? So I don't like anything that looks like guns that aren't guns, and this is not really a gun. So this would be totally fine if you just want to, like, you know, shoot cans in your backyard and think it's cool, or just want to buy it as a toy. Right on, that's awesome. But please do not try to use something like this for self-defense. It is only going to make things worse. Of course, that's just my opinion. Anyway, so I mean, take that with a grain of salt. Of course, I'm just sharing my opinions here, but I don't think it's a good idea. If you're going to have something that looks like a gun, it better shoot bullets. And you better not be pointing at anyone unless you think you're going to die, like truly think you're going to die. So that's my opinion on it. Anyway, moving on. Nothing's really exciting. I mean, I always like big old clip point buoys, you know, but I don't have a thirst for a cheap one. You know, I've had them, but I mean, it's pretty cool. You have to admit, I mean, come on. That is a cool looking knife. That's like a crocodile knee knife. That's not a knife, this is a knife. And that's not an accent. It's horrible, Jeff. Stop trying to impersonate me. I'm sorry. Please accept my apology. Okay, so I love Christmas. I love trappers. So yes, I do love this. $37 I don't love. If this was like $19.99, it'd be something I'd consider buying. Because I really do like trappers. I have a trapper collection, and I absolutely love Christmas. Now, is it necessary to have a Christmas trapper? I think it is. I already own one. That's how necessary I think it is. I have a previous year Kissing Crane trapper that I got from my mommy and my daddy, and it makes me happy, warms my heart. I love it. In fact, I might even start carrying that this week just because I'm talking about it. Anyway, so yeah, that's cool. I like that. All right, so on to this guy. This Crosman pellet gun is awesome. This is a pump action pistol. So the whole forearm here pumps. Okay, so you're generating air pressure inside, you know, the tube that's in there or whatever. You pull the trigger, it's released, which gets behind the pellet, pushes it out the front. That's how the whole thing works, right? These are fantastic. These are very high quality. This one happens to be in 177 or .177 caliber. I have mine in .22. And I have to say, this is a fantastic option personally in a .22 for small game hunting. I have not shot small game, but I 1000% am convinced that it would be a fantastic option for a quiet, very cheap way to hunt rabbits, squirrel, maybe small birds, pheasants, things like that, turkey, you know what I mean? And you know, if you're in a survival situation, you need to kill a bunch of these animals, this is great. This is something that is completely overlooked, in my opinion. Not totally, some people do talk about it, but overall, when you're talking about like survival and you're filling up your 55-gallon drum full of rice, and this one's got beans, and I got, you know, 500,000 rounds of 9mm and all that stuff, it's just, you're missing this. If you're talking about survival and preparedness and you think the world's gonna end or something and you want to be able to hunt small animals, consider something like this, okay? More so a rifle, obviously, for accuracy, but even something like this is very portable. You can carry it anywhere. It's not that heavy. It's way cheaper and way quieter than shooting regular 22s. All right, so it's just a fantastic option for, you know, both survival as well as, you know, the apocalypse type thing. Don't be sleeping on the pellet gun scene, okay, for that kind of stuff, because you can have, you know, pellets out the wazoo. You can get, you know, 500,000 pellets or something. It's totally, you know, unnecessary, by the way. Your gun would break before that. But, you know, if you are trying to really think about survival and stuff like that, you know, for 80 bucks in this case, and the prices do vary on these. I don't remember what I paid for mine. Mine's only maybe, geez, 11 or 12 years old. I think I had one when I was younger too, and I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if that was sold or who knows. Maybe I traded someone for it or whatever, but I rebought this, and I want to say I rebought it at Walmart for like 65 bucks or something. Yeah, but who knows? Maybe my memory's wrong. Maybe it was 100 bucks. I don't truly remember the price, but regardless, if you bought 2 of these bad boys and you stocked up on, let's say, you know, 2,000 pellets, that wouldn't cost you all that much. But number one, it's quiet. It's obviously not a regular cartridge. It's not going faster than the, you know, the speed of sound. There's no crack. There's no, you know, massive echo in the valley or anything like that. This one says 600 feet per second, but that's on the fullest power. That's the most it's capable of. You could pump this thing up 3-4 pumps and get maybe 200, 250, or 300 feet per second or something like that. It's not always necessary to completely pump it until it's at its max. But long story short, fantastic option. If you're into the survival stuff, consider this. It doesn't have to be this one, but, you know, don't go CO2 or something like that. That makes things very complex. They're underpowered in my opinion. It's expensive to keep buying the CO2 cartridges. You don't get a consistent shot anyway because the first couple shots are great, and then of course the pressure goes down. Pump is the way to go. I don't know anything about all the new stuff like green gas and all. I mean, I know like Iraqi veteran, if you watch his channel, he does like some professional, like he hunts deer with pellet guns, but that's a whole different ball of wax. That's very high-end stuff, very high pressures. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. It's fascinating to me. It's cool because it's completely quiet and it's cheap to shoot. Well, I mean, the ammo's cheap. The actual guns are probably very expensive. But anyway, this is just old school. I've had these things been around since the 80s, 90s. Very cool option. All right, so there's that Punisher knife that was on our cover. Brass knuckles are always cool. Nothing really to say there. It's fantastic to own. Probably wouldn't want to be caught with them in my pocket or, God forbid, actually use them in regular rule of law. Now, if the apocalypse rolls around, I got a few of these bad boys to pass around for people to use. But under normal society, normal circumstances, this is definitely going to be your fun toy at your office or something, or just in your bedroom, just for fun, to definitely not carry and use. So you'd be much better off with a slew of different self-defense options. You'd be better off shooting someone with a gun than beating them to death with brass knuckles, okay? I'm just saying that. Trump knife, well, it's Trump knife, you know? If you like Trump and you like knives and you want a cheap knife with Trump on it, that's an option. All right, so let me get this page back there for stability. Black powder throwback revolvers, I'm all for it. I have one pistol and I have a Peretti, I want to say I have a Peretti 44 Magnum pistol, which I have not shot yet, by the way. I got that in trade. I think I showed it on Instagram. This is a while back. I finally got all the stuff because I needed the primers and powder and all. I have it all, I just haven't shot it yet. Maybe I'll shoot it this winter. And then I have a rifle. I have a 50 caliber, and that may or may not also be Peretti. I don't remember. But black powder stuff, super, super fun. Definitely recommend it. So yeah, especially if you have different restrictions, that's a lot easier to obtain and enjoy. Spy cameras, pretty cool. Technology's, you know, definitely growing, so these things are getting cheaper and cheaper and smaller. No interest. That's definitely fun, but no specific, like this is a fun day to me, and then I forget about it for 2 or 3 years and I break it out again. Kind of like blowguns. Blowguns are awesome, but I don't play with them that often, unfortunately. I'd stay away from this unless it's on an airsoft gun. Not to say that Ghost Viper Tactical is not good quality, you know, but come on. If it's going on something you're relying your life on, you might want to spend a couple extra bucks and get something that is more of a chance to just work, especially when you need it. So if you're playing around, airsoft, BB gun, or whatever, you want to throw it on there, I got no problem with that stuff like that, but I wouldn't rely on it. These are fantastic. I actually have this. I didn't get this from BUDK. I actually got this in a monthly box, but I literally have a wool blanket with this carrier, and I keep it in my vehicle right now because you never know. Winter is here. It's not, I was gonna say it's around the corner. No, it's here. It's like 28 degrees last night. Right now, it's probably in the mid 30s here in Pennsylvania. It's cold. Winter's here. You have to prepare. You have to have stuff in your vehicle in case you're out and about. You got to have some food in there. If you can, have some water. Obviously, you can't keep it in there because it'll freeze. Blankets, you got to stay warm. You don't know if you're going to be stuck on the side of the highway in a whiteout blizzard and no help for hours upon end, especially if you have, you know, if you're giving rides to elderly family members or friends or commuting with coworkers or something. People, kids, little kids, you know, if you are in any situation where you have people who are going to be in a bad situation, you want to prevent those situations from happening. Something as simple as having a wool blanket in your car could save your life. Change your clothes, that's another one too. If it's wintertime and you happen to like fall in a puddle, changing a tire or something, now you're going to get hypothermia. No, you gotta think about this stuff. You can't be prepared for everything, but you can have a blanket in your car, and I do, and so does my wife, just in case. Ceramic knives, they're pretty cool. I like ceramic knives. The thing with ceramic blades, though, 100% ceramic blades, number one, they don't rust because they can't. That's pretty cool. They're also ridiculously sharp. But the bad things, it's really, really hard to sharpen them. You probably won't. And if you drop it, it can just snap like plastic. So it's fragile. So there's the pros and cons there. I said there twice. Okay. Not interested. I mean, stuff like this is like, yeah, if I had a bigger home, maybe I'd have a wall full of stuff like this. I don't know. Probably not. When I was single, yeah. Being married, that would be an argument, I'm sure, to hang a bunch of crap like this on the wall. This is part of married life, you know. If maybe you had a cool little man room or something, you could do that. But I don't. I don't have a man room, specifically. All these... you know, electric lighters, the arc lighters, plasma lighters, they call them. These things do work. They work well. A lot of them are cheap. I mean, this one's 20 bucks. It's kind of cool. I mean, I take fire, traditional fire over that, but I think it's pretty neat. You know, if I smoke cigarettes or something, maybe I'd carry one. I do use them occasionally. The plasma lighters I have, I use for candles. I always wanted the set here, specifically the set of lockpick keys for vehicles, but I don't know why, because I don't know any vehicles that I'd play around with. Obviously, I'm not really stealing vehicles. I just like the idea of knowing how to get into one in case I have a family or friend member, or talking too fast. A family member or friend. I think I said a family friend or member is what I said. Anyway, yeah, I like to help people. That's what I'm trying to get to. And if I could be prepared and like someone, like a neighbor, oh no, my keys are locked in the car. You know how great it would be for me to be able to go in my trunk, go in a go bag, grab this set, have the knowledge, open the door for them without damaging their car and say, here, you know, you're welcome. I like stuff like that. I truly enjoy helping people. Believe it or not, I do. But I haven't gotten these before and I don't know how to use those specifically, so... not interested. Now, moving on. This seems really cool. Oh, there's a full auto mode. That's what I'm talking about right now. It's CO2. I can look past that because of full auto mode. That would be awesome. That's like shooting the BB gun at the fair, only this one probably hits what you're actually aiming at. Oh, what the heck? I never saw that before. No ship to PA. What? Now, no shipping to New Jersey, California, Massachusetts, New York. That's commonplace. Especially anything fun in here, you never get to get that stuff at those states. But Pennsylvania, that's interesting. I don't know why. I mean, pellet guns are legal here. I don't know why full automatic pellet gun, or select fire, I should say, pellet guns are not. Don't know. Lucille. I mean, you know. I like The Walking Dead. They lost me, though. It got too complicated. I mean, so you start off with the most amazing zombie show in history. And then at some point, no one cares about zombies. They just veered off, like, so far from surviving Zombieland. Like, the first 3 seasons, awesome. Highly recommend it. But like season 4, 5, 6, I just lost interest. That's it. I just didn't care. That's all. I don't care about the drama. I want to see people stab, zombies in the head. And that would be great for that. And so with that, don't care about that. The flashlight stun gun thing, I think I might have one in the collection somewhere. I have a long one that's like a stun gun, but also a flashlight, and you can use it as a bat. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I don't know. I don't have a specific interest in it. Man, this video is going to be long, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Kind of cool. Don't really care. Any pellet gun or BB gun I like them all. Some are better than others. Some are really cool. Some are just okay. But they're all fascinating, and I'd love to have them all and try them all out. Big old flashlights. Usually false promises on super cheap flashlights as far as their outputs and performance, or whether they're going to keep working when you drop it or something. Strops. I couldn't say that. I couldn't even say that fast enough. Strops. I always recommend stropping your knife. Now, some people might hear that and they go, okay, well, what is he talking about? What's this strap thing? What is it? Where is it? I don't know. Well, it's here. It's a strop. S-T-R-O-P. Not strap. Now, of course, I don't enunciate things properly half the time, and I can't pronounce half the things I say properly, so maybe it sounds like strap, but no, it's a strop. Now, most people know it as the thing at the barbershop. Old-timey barbershop, with the red and the blue, the pole spinning and all that stuff, and they're like... But you can use this with all knives. It doesn't have to be a razor, all right? What this does is it refines your edge. So you already have a sharp edge, but you're making sure that it's extra sharp, and then when you use it, before it goes dull, you just keep making sure it's extra sharp, and it takes a really long time to go dull. Cannot recommend this more if you're using your knives all the time. All right, then you also want to get some kind of stropping compound as well, which is basically like a gritty paste. Okay, so you're like micro sanding. That's essentially what it is. Super dumb. I mean, some stuff is, kind of cool. Some stuff's just dumb. Like, that's just dumb to me. It's great if it's like in a show or you're some kind of like crazy character, but realistically, even if you use this, even if these blades were razor sharp, let's say, just from like a build standpoint, I don't know how much pressure can be on that before it would, break your wrist. Because like, let's say you hit a person, that's one thing, but let's say you hit a 2x4. If you hit a 2x4 with all your force, this whole thing would bend out at where your wrist is and just break your wrist. That's all. That's just how that is. So, I mean, I'm no expert on that kind of stuff, but I just think that it just, it's not usable. Whips are very cool. I like whips. I had a chain whip that someone made for me, which I still do, and it's awesome. And it's really cool to actually get a good crack of a whip. It's so loud and intimidating. It's really neat. But I never had a leather whip. That'd be kind of fun, just to play around with. I mean, I love Indiana Jones. That's what I would do. I'd probably fondle it and play with it and make a couple cracking noises while I'm watching Indiana Jones, like some kind of like 8-year-old. I've seen this before. This little bolt that's hollowed out so you can hide stuff in there. Pretty cool. I'm into stuff like that. Or maybe I'm just kind of weird. Another Trump knife, in case the first one didn't quite hit you right. Sometimes it just hits right. I don't know if this Trump knife smacks like the other one did. There it is. Well, I don't know, the Terminator one. If you're gonna have a Trump knife, I mean, do you go Terminator? or maybe you get both. Maybe this is your like weekend knife, and then this is your, at the office professional knife, I don't know. That's very cool though. I love all push daggers of all quality levels. This is very cool. However, I have a feeling this is not... Oh, it is automatic. Okay. All right, yeah. So they basically copied... So obviously this is a buck style knife. It's not a real buck knife. And this whole flat bar thing, this was back in the, I want to say late 80s, maybe early 90s, but I remember these. I wanted this so bad back in the day, but they were like $250, $300. And what they did was they took, I think it was Butch Valentin started it, if I'm saying that correctly as far as history goes. But yeah, it was like an auto conversion. So Butch would take these buck knives and customize them so you can, use it automatically. This is basically like a bar, and you'd push down on the one bar. That's your button. So when you push down on the bottom part here, it would lift up the front, which had a little pin that was in a hole in the blade. So when you push that, it was a little lever action, right? Or it had an action like a lever, like a seesaw. I'm explaining any of this right. So pins in the thing, you push down on the bottom of the button, and when you lift the pin, there's all this built up pressure from the spring. There's a leaf spring in there. So you lift up the pin and, you know, it shoots out. So that's that. All right, caltrops are very cool. If you want to be a pretend ninja in 2022/2023 coming up. These things actually do work if you want to, you know, put them in the road or put them in front of someone's tire, behind their tire. It'll definitely blow up the tire. Or if you want to put them, let's say, outside your windows, if you have something hard like concrete on the ground, or you can even put a concrete block outside of your window and put a tiny bit of dirt on it so you can't see it's there, and put one of these things there. And if someone wants to sneak in your window at night, they'd come over and they'd step on it and go right through their foot. What do you think of that? That would definitely work, although it's a little extreme. You're probably a little paranoid if you actually do that. You shouldn't be paranoid. Maybe just get some better locks on the windows. Or maybe you could build a house with no windows. It's even better, and no one could break into them. More ninja stuff, which is cool. I always kind of want to see that. You see that, you know, I forget what this is actually even called. Is it written here? Yeah, grappling hook. Okay, I thought there was a special name for it. But yeah, you know, you throw that up on a roof side and you have the rope, and you have to be physically fit to do that. Right? If you notice in ninja movies, none of them are massively obese, and that's for good reason. More ninja stuff. We're in the ninja section for sure. Batons, actually very useful if you know what you're doing with them. Little Willy knife's kind of cool. I've seen that before. These things, these grab bag stuff, I always think like to do that, it'd be fun for a video. I just don't want to spend the money. It's 80 bucks. It's supposed to be $140 worth of stuff, but is it stuff you want? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I will. Who knows? Probably not. Maybe. I'm on the fence, to be honest. I'm on the fence. All right, let me skip through and see if I find something I actually like, because who knows how long this video is at this point. Fake grenades are fun. I used to have one of those. Push dagger fun. Definitely dig this because I've been so into coins lately. This would be easier than using the jeweler's loop, although it look crazy. That's funny because they've had these bits forever. I think it's funny they called it literally "damn it" because that's what every dad says when he has to use one. What else? Here's another funky medieval Stein. You know, it's funny. I'll tell you a quick story. I was at a BAM bookstore, which is like Nobles. You know, if you haven't seen a BAM, and they have all kinds. I mean, obviously it's a bookstore, so it's mostly books, but they have all kinds of like little, you know, pop culture stuff, like literally pops or whatever those things are. Little, you know, plastic statues. I forget what they're called, but they have stuff like that. You know, maybe some shirts and whatever's popular, right? So when I was at this BAM Books, it just so happened that I was really into watching all of the Lord of the Rings movies. I was rewatching them. I was watching the Hobbit series, and I happened to see a Stein. It was a black Stein, or not a Stein, I'm sorry, a goblet, okay? Now this was also at the time that I was making my first batch of mead, okay, which is honey wine. It's the first liquor in history and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, oh my God, I need that goblet. Which was it's black. It had like a dragon on it and like a red ruby and it had, you know, metal insert. And it's crazy looking. I'll have to show it sometime. But anyway, I ended up buying the thing for 20 bucks and I used it, I think, twice. So when the mead was done, I did. I filled my goblet with mead and I watched the Hobbit series. And it made it that much better. It really did. But I haven't used it since, really. So anyway, moving on. Trench knife's cool. I dig that. Get it before it's banned. The binary trigger. And I'll mess with stuff like that, even though it sounds like it'd be kind of fun. More knuckles. Those look like... Are they plastic? Resin? No. They're just black. Cast metal. Okay. If you like these things... Like, this is $10. $10. Okay? This exact same keychain knife in brass, $2. And sometimes they go on sale for $1 at Harbor Freight. Okay, so if you go to Harbor Freight, or if you know where Harbor Freight is and you like this, tomorrow, because you're going to remember this video, right? Tomorrow go there. I think full price might be $3, but you might get it for $1 or $2. But yeah, those are plentiful there. They're always there. Every time I've been to Harbor Freight, I've seen those. And I kind of want to like just get a bunch of them, just again to give out as gifts or whatever, but I don't. I just don't, because I don't want anyone to actually get hurt, and the people who I'd give it to probably wouldn't sharpen them, and then it would just be counterproductive. These cases are fantastic. I've had these for years. I still use them, and I'll still buy more in the future. Can't recommend these enough. They're awesome. The craze of the Cupid Auto, you know, since the Joker movie. Every time a new Joker movie comes out, everyone buys those, and then they don't care for a while. But a lot of Joker fans. Oh, I use these. I've gotten this as a gift before. These are fantastic. These are like pre-oiled gun socks is what they call them. And it's just for storage. But they do work if you're not going to use a gun for a long time. You want to oil it up and put it in the sock. Keeps the humidity and stuff out. I was talking about blowguns before. Blowguns are awesome. You know, if you can get a cold steel one, even better. What else? I like interesting locking mechanisms. This one's like, I'm not into steampunk, so I'm not really interested, but that, I mean, it's a very simple design. So when you pull down on this, you know, lock back, it's just lifting those springs. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of innovative. Obviously you can get away with that, having big open springs, just because of steampunk, but it's not ideal because that can snag on something and those rip off and then it doesn't lock anymore. And yeah. Throwing knives, cheap throwing knives. I just did a video not too long ago about them. They're awesome. For 30 bucks, you get 12 of them. That's a fun time. That is a great Saturday afternoon, especially if you have some teenagers or something and a massive wall you don't care if there's holes in because they'll probably not hit the target and they'll go right through your sheetrock. We have a hippy dippy trapper. That's fascinating. Cool little OTF. Actually, I have a larger version of this. 60 bucks. I've shown these before from Tech Knives. Their website has a bunch of those, different sizes. This is very dated, by the way. The belt knife, you know, the fake belt buckle that's a knife. But you know what? It's great. It's awesome. It screams 80s. But I'll tell you what, I mean, it's just very covert. So, this is interesting. They have a rubber, looks like. Is that rubber? Molded handle, not slip grip. Yeah, first thing, rubber. TPR rubber. I don't know if that's good rubber, bad rubber. Obviously, their name calling it. So, if it's a name brand rubber, I suppose it's good. But that's interesting. If you like your saps, it's kind of cool. And I have a little collection of them. Nothing exciting, really, except for the throwing stars. Nothing super exciting here. Bandoleer's awesome. A goblet. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about a goblet, like a wine type glass. So, oh, is that Dave Canterbury? Yeah, very cool. I love Dave. Dave's an awesome guy. Yeah, interesting little product there. I probably personally wouldn't be interested in it, but I got excited when I saw Dave. Dave's cool. Nothing there. We have a religious trapper, if you're into that. I don't like the stuff all on the blade. Like, I wish the blades were sterile here. I do like the cross. I think that's really neat. That's pretty much it, unless you want Sauron's sword. So, yeah. What we got in the back here? Oh, geez. They sell the flamethrower. That's something else that kind of was a flash in the pan. No pun intended with the fire. But, yeah, I saw a bunch of videos with flamethrowers. Everyone loved them, and now I don't really see anyone talking about them anymore. It's really cool. It's actually practical if you have a bunch of brush you need to burn or something, or you know, you want to do a controlled fire. It's awesome. Or if you just want that really cool item for the apocalypse that no one else has, and everyone's gonna be shooting each other, and you're gonna be out there lighting people on fire. You know, you do you. If something's different and you think it's cool, why not, right? So there you go. That's my rundown. My battery is actually dying, and I can lose you at any point here. Christmas BUDK 2022. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my random talking and blabbering and stuttering. It's just what it is. So that's all. Love you guys.